on a physiological level, fat loss is very well understood and actually quite simple.
Yep, so fat loss comes from an energy deficit. So consuming less calories than you need to maintain weight. Real briefly, you can technically see your body fat percentage go down eating at maintenance while you gain muscle. And you could possibly even, like if you had a really strong stimulus to gain weight, maybe lose, or gain muscle I should say, maybe lose fat in a small surplus perhaps, but energetically, you need to be in an energy deficit.
It's eating in a surplus and not putting the fork down in time. You eat too many calories, you get fat, doesn't matter about your hormones. Too many hormones, too little hormones, you still need to eat in a surplus to get fat. So if you want to lose the fat, you need a deficit regardless of hormones. This includes your freaking underactive thyroid. I know you got your thyroid. If you have an underactive thyroid, you still need to eat in a surplus to get fat. Doesn't matter, you still do.
Calories in, calories out is been known for centuries, but is best supported by, I think, in a formal way by a study that was done by a colleague of mine at Stanford named Chris Gardner, where they compared ketogenic, high carb, low fat diets and other types of diets over a very long period of time in hundreds of individuals, and saw that it did not matter how you got your macronutrients. As long as you were in a caloric deficit, you lost weight. So there it is, calories in, calories out.
Well, calories in is quite literally the food you consume. Okay, this is all the calories you consume during the day, your energy intake, because calories are literally energy. Calories out is a little bit more complicated. What makes up calories out, which is the amount of calories that your body expends on a daily basis to live. So BMR is basically the amount of energy it takes to keep the lights on. It is the metabolic rate that will be measured by me lying down, not doing anything, and seeing how many calories I burn. That's your BMR. Then we have NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. NEAT is a little bit more difficult to explain, but essentially it's all non-voluntary movements. So like just postural of me standing up, waving my hands around, fidgeting during the day. Those sorts of small movements that you don't think about doing that are involuntary is NEAT. Then you have the thermic effect of food. So basically, your body is a little bit like a car's internal combustion engine. You have to put in energy to get energy out of the food you eat. It is not a 100% perfect conversion. Things like, for example, protein has a higher TEF. The TEF of protein is about 20 to 30%, whereas the TEF from carbohydrate is about 6 to 8%, and the TEF from fat is about 2 to 3%. Then exercise activity. This is quite simply the calories you burn doing exercise. When you add up these four, these encompass all of the energy you expend during the day. When we talk about calories in versus calories out and creating a calorie deficit or losing fat, you must create a calorie deficit where the energy you expend exceeds the energy you put in. Let me be very clear on this. If you don't lose weight, you are by definition not in a calorie deficit. If you don't lose fat, you are by definition not in a calorie deficit. This is not an opinion. This is not up for debate.